guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the controversial topic of tipping. I know that everybody has their own specific way that they like to tip, and in some cultures it's expected and in other cultures it is insulting. We've done a lot of financial collaborations on this channel over the last year, and then the most recent one I did, I got to talking to Miss Wendy Valencia, and she and I decided that this would be a good topic to hit before the end of this year. So Wendy, myself, and a few other YouTubers are here today to talk about our own experiences with tipping, things that we've had happen, the way we were raised on it, the way we've seen other people do it. Their videos will be listed down below, so when this one's done, please go check them out. It will be well worth your time. Also, leave me a comment down below on how you personally tip, how you've seen others do it, if it's in your culture, if it's not. For me these days, I always like to leave 20%, and how I do it is when I get the bill with the tax and everything on it, I will move that decimal over to get 10%, and then I will double that to get 20, and then just to make it easy for my own brain and numbers, I just round up. For example, if I have a $25 bill, $2.50 is 10%, and I'll round that up to 20, and it will be a $5. Back when I was in college, I didn't have as much money to go out and wine and dine with friends or whatnot. I would try to do 10%, and I figured if I couldn't afford to tip at least 10%, I couldn't afford to go to a sit-down restaurant. I think that is actually a saying, like, if you can't afford to tip, you can't afford to go out to eat. And side note, while I was writing out ideas for this video, I found one of those Adam Ruins Everything videos, and it talked about the history of tipping, why it happens, why in certain cultures it's insulting. I will actually link that video down below. It's very interesting to see his partake on this, as it is done differently all over the world. When I started working on board cruise ships and was traveling all over to different parts of the world, I was discovering that some cultures view tipping as an insult. Some restaurants pay their waitstaff a full salary, and it is seen as a symbol of pride that they don't need the patrons to additionally give money or gratuity to those waiters because they have earned the right to work at that restaurant. And I learned the hard way that if you tip them, they take that as a, yeah, you can improve, here's a little bit of money because you clearly need to get better. And we were taught very quickly that if you do tip in certain countries, that waitstaff will look at you very nasty, they won't like that. I mean, I'm sure at the end of the day, they personally like having extra money. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe that's just how they work, but I remember I was in parts of South America and they told us, do not tip. If you tip this waitstaff, they will see it as an insult. That's just how the culture works. This also happened a few times in Europe. When I was over there, we would dine in and out. Normally, if they figure out that you're tourists and you don't know these customs, particularly if you're an American, they know that American culture does have tipping as part of our custom, but the locals are pretty quick to let you know, hey, tipping is not okay. And as I've gotten older and I've gone out with different people from different walks of life here in America, I do see that tipping is just something that some people take more seriously than others. Some people will only tip in certain situations. Some only do 10%. Some don't do any at all because they were never raised to think about that. They thought that their only financial responsibility was to pay the bill and nothing extra. Some people will not include tax if they take 10%. It's just what they want. There really is no right or wrong way. It really is how you view it. But in my opinion, in America, because we pay our waitstaff such a low percentage and they do depend on tips, and I have been in that situation before, I do find that those who have been a server before make sure that they do get that 20% in every single time they go out. But like I was saying before, taking other people out and having our separate checks and they leave a certain percent and you leave a certain percent, I don't know if this is rude or not, but I have had people I've dined out with ask me how much I'm tipping, and if they see that I'm tipping 20%, then they don't want to tip at all. They figure, well, Kristen has the tip covered, I don't need to do it. And if that's how they want to work, it's not my job to tell them how to pay their bill. I do just let them know, hey, this is custom to what I do, regardless of what you are paying. I personally always try to give 20%. I used to try to always give in cash, that way they could have it in their pocket right there and they don't have to worry about cashing out all the credit card receipts. But again, I want to make this video an open conversation, so leave me down below the way that you tip, what's custom for you, what situations you do tip and don't tip. One tipping situation I'm not completely certain on is carry out. I mean, somebody did prepare my food and I run in, pick it up, and leave, I don't know what's custom in that situation when it comes to tipping. I always want to give something. One of my friends raised a point. You don't tip your cashier at McDonald's when you go in. Why do you tip when you do carry out? And I mean, that's a good point. I don't really know that situation. I don't know what's expected. I don't know what the norm is. So let me know down below your tipping routine when it comes to sit-down restaurants, carry out, just everything. Because I'm trying to figure out, at least with the takeout, what a custom tip would be. It's not me trying to be stingy or frugal or tight or cheap. I just don't know what is acceptable in the situations. I mean, I know they have tabs. I know they have tips. This is also the same when it comes to like Uber or taxi rides. Like, do we tip a certain percentage there? I've never actually taken an Uber ride outside of like my friends treating me to a ride to get me someplace, and they took care of gratuity, so I didn't have to actually do it. Let me know down below. We'll have an open discussion down there. Let me know your thoughts on all of these. But that is all for this video. I think from my end, I try to always leave 20% rounded up to the nearest dollar. I know some people leave 10, some people don't leave anything. Some people just leave whatever leftover they have. If it's a $15 tab and they leave 20 on the table, they can just leave the change for the wait staff. It really is up to you, how you were raised, what you think is right, what you think is fair, what you can afford, and all that jazz. Anyway, I'm going to leave that with you guys. But once again, this is a collaboration, so be sure to click down below in the description to see everybody else's video and their channels. Check them out as soon as you can. Let me know once again your thoughts on tipping, and until then, I will see you tomorrow for the start of Vlogmas. I have a 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time live stream coming out to bring out the Christmas spirit of Vlogmas. So I will see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye!